in a tune.com.
Papi, why you coming for you breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill the cow. What your no problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you running somewhere.
My daughter, ha yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Ha yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town, they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that boy can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the boy will talk it. You doing the right thing, the boy will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing, 1 year time, yeah.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now, Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying back in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, thank you so much for the information. But I see Tommy walking, coming it out. I don't know if I ate he looking at too. Oh, Tommy! Tommy!
Oh, what's that? What you calling my name like that for? What you calling my name like that for? Take your time and you get. I'm watching my Looking Hour. Don't gotta distract me, yo. Wait now. If you ain't got what to do right now, we're already enjoying ourselves. You better get involved with the fries, girl. Tommy!
In a tune.com.
Papi, why you coming for you breathing like that?
My daughter. Hey, my daughter, yeah. The old people can say that curiosity kill the cow. What your no problem again?
Papi, I really don't have problem. But the way you breathing, sir, it's like you running somewhere.
My daughter, ha yaka. If I give you the little G's, you yourself will be running to the same player running. So you just hold it there.
Papi, Papi, play on me now, lay on me. You know I your daughter too now.
My daughter, guess what? I had to run away from Wego. Ha yaka. Tuesday and Thursday, they got one show in town, they call it Logan's Hour. Man, that boy can talk the thing that are happening in Indiana. Even when you steal, even you doing wrong thing, the boy will talk it. You doing the right thing, the boy will praise you.
For real, Papi? No, that kind of thing, 1 year time, yeah.
My daughter, I'm telling you, let me tell you now, Logan's Hour come on every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And when you want to watch Logan Hour, you gotta be on time, or else you will watch the show after the show. But guess what?
What, Papi?
Just go to Facebook and subscribe to Logan Hour. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to Logan Hour. Anytime Logan Hour coming on, you will get notification. That the notification made me running at the door, my daughter, because I won't be laying back in my living room, man, and get ready to call on that show.
Papi, Thank you so much for the information. But I see Tommy walking, coming out. I don't know if I he looking at too. Oh, Tommy! Tommy!
Oh, what's that? What you calling my name like that for? What you calling my name like that for? Take your time and you get. I'm watching my looking hour. Don't got distract me, yo. Wait now. If you ain't got what to do right now, we're already enjoying ourselves. You better get involved with the fries, girl.
Okay. We already enjoying ourselves. Get involved with the fries. So we want to say to all of you following us today, we want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us today on the Logan's Hour. Today promised to be a very great edition of the Logan's Hour. And today, so some of you who just joined us for the first time, remember that you are on the Logan's Hour, and because the conversation promised to be one of those interesting conversations as usual that we always have on the Logan's Hour here. So don't hold back. Join the conversation today. We have today our guest, Mr. Heron Petro Costa. Mr. Heron Petro Costa, he's the leader of the COP, and he's also a political commentator. And surprisingly, Mr. Costa is a senatorial aspirant, Macerado County District. Let me say district 2023. He will be going against Sir Joseph. But for today, let's recognize some of the people who following us here. I see my dear brother and friend, Eugene Doswa. The King Eugene Doswa is following here. I see my sister Vida Duo also, Brandy Alpha. Mr. James Kell. Hey, how you doing, Chief? My dear brother and friend Didier, Mr. Dylan Harris. I see you following, and my own big brother there, he's following as well. So to all of you here today, we want to say thank you for joining the Logan's Hour today. All you have to do is to share the show and let ask more questions, because we're going to have the tough talking here today in studio. Mr. Heron Petro Costa, the man who led the June 7 protests. You all heard about the June 7 protests. So if you love to ask questions in those direction, Mr. Petro Costa will be here to answer all of your questions as well. So I want to say thanks to all of you who have just joined us. You can also put your question in the comment section, and maybe if time permits, we will have at least 10 minutes to take questions from those following us. The number going to be pinned as usual. You know how we do it here. So I want to say to you today, thank you for joining us, and to everyone else. And I think my software provider have just introduced new stuff now where you can also ask a guest to share the show on his platform or on her platform. So it's going to be a very great show today. So I'm asking all of you who always join us for the first time, want to say thank you for joining us. And today, as this conversation unfolds, we will be having a conversation with Mr. Heron Petro Costa. And those of you who would love to ask Mr. Heron Petro Costa, you know, some people refer to Heron Petro Costa as the porcupine god. They say the man too greasy to throw away, but he too bitter to swallow. So we will hear from him today what he makes of that. But today's conversation specifically, we asked Mr. Costa to tell us more about his story. You know, every individual has a unique story. So Mr. Costa today will be telling us more about his story. And, you know, it is very important for the younger generation coming up to hear the story of Mr. Heron Petro Costa and the stories of other well-meaning Liberians who have made history around the world. Because just I can tell you the other day, you all can remember, Heron Petro Costa was named as the 33rd most influential male personalities in Africa of the 50th of the 50 people that were nominated. And trust me, so because he's from Liberia, we have to celebrate him. Even if you are from any other African country, we have to celebrate him. So today we are privileged to have with us Mr. Henry Petro Costa, who's going to join us shortly. And I like the software provider make it much easier now for other people who are going to be following the program can also as well share the program. Mr. Henry Petro Costa will also have the chance to share the program on his platform as well if you would love to do that. For those who follow in the program today. So I want to say thank you for joining us. And today you can, regardless which side you're from, opposition, imposition, no position, you will have the time to place your call in. But today's conversation, specifically, not to disappoint you, is just to hear the story of Mr. Henry Petro Costa. Who is Mr. Henry Petro Costa? We have seen this man risk his life, carry on protests in Liberia 2 different times in January and in June, challenging the status quo since younger people starts to know about him under the Malaseli administration, where he disclosed the issues of local and talk about some of the irregularities that Liberians are going through, the hardship and all the things Henry Costa came to permanent. And today, Henry Costa is a brand that everybody would love to hear from. So Mr. Petro Costa will join us shortly. So those of you following us, I want to say thank you, and we will be right back. We're going to take this short commercial. We'll be back.
Hey, beautiful ladies of Indianapolis. Are you looking for a beauty place where you can buy all your latest human hairs and other beauty accessories? Look no more. The MD Beauty Salon, located at 3429 Kentucky Avenue, is just that right spot for all your beauty needs. At MD's, our customers' satisfaction is our foremost priority. Our staffs are friendly and accommodating. Contact us today on 317-360-2624. MD Beauty Salon, your one-stop shop for all your beauty needs. And hey, ladies, when you get there, tell Marian that the girl is sexy.
All right. So Mr. Henry Petro Costa will be joining us shortly. Right now, I'm just gearing up. Yes, I'm just gearing up. You know, which one of the young person would not want to talk to Mr. Henry Petro Costa or hear this powerful voice, the man who has utilized his gift? Trust me, man. You see, sometimes when I'm talking about the Bible here and telling you about the gift that God gave us, they say your gift will make rooms for you and make you to sit with kings. And this young man have utilized his gift very effectively. Today, he's going to be with us here. It is a privilege for the people of Indiana to join this conversation, to hear who is Mr. Costa. Because today, as I stated, we are not doing too much politics. We will not be into politics like that. We will be dealing more with the life of Mr. Henry Costa, because you know, like the people always say, the writer of your book should be yourself. So I know Mr. Henry Costa today will explain his story, his unique story, this story that other young Liberians who into academics can write the story about and talk about this great man called Henry Costa, the same way other people today. You know, it's sad that today we all just talk about the man who fought for multi-party democracy, backup mafia, but all we heard or all we have been hearing is just verbal issues, but we haven't seen a person who have reduced that into a comprehensive book that younger generation going to come out and read and say, here, this is the man called backup mafia, born this time. So today, Mr. Petro Costa will also be here to talk about his story. You know, Mr. Petro Costa always talk about his grandma Jupa from mashing time. Today we're asking about his grandmother as well, how she faring and what made he really do love his grandma, because every time Heron on his program or on any public platform, the first person Heron make reference to is my grandma, Jupa. So we'll talk about Mashitan, where he came from. I think I was listening to him back in the days. He said he left from Mashitan at the age of 8 years old during the war, and that memory and the Heron today that we all seen, somebody who came from a village, enter Monrovia, or after the war. Today, he's the 33rd most influential person in Africa. He's a brand. You just have to just Google his name, Heron Costa. You're going to see him everywhere. So how he ascend, how he make it to that level so fast. Because imagine from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf up to today, there are other Liberians who try to do same, but they cannot get to this far. And Heron Costa has been this person with an elephant skin who everybody want to chew a portion of him. And, and something I said the other day to my wife, and I was saying to her, once you're in this field of the media, especially for Heron, he's a political commentator. And sometimes when he breaking some stories, people want to question him. People want to say, why you couldn't go and do the ABC of journalism. And I listened to him one day, he said, I don't need to go and do all of that. The news have to be accurate, balanced, and credible. That's for the journalists. I'm a commentator. I pick the news as the news unfolds and run with it. So the people that who are supposed to be looking for it to be accurate, balanced, and credible, those are journalists. Journalists have to go and find the news to be accurate, balanced, and credible. I'm a commentator. I do commentary. Then, this field as a commentator that Heron found himself in for the length of time, it has served as a great motivation to a lot of young Liberians. Today, even some of us here sitting behind this camera, the first person we ever heard talking about issues about Liberia and discussing it to the point where the whole country was shocked, it was Henry Petro Costa. And by then, when I always say this, he's like a punky pound god. He greasy, you want to throw him away. But when you want to saddle him again, he also bitter. So that kind of issue, he's just a side where when he's dealing with you today, you are so angry. But tomorrow when he decides to side with you, the other people get angry. That's the kind of man I'm talking about here. And trust me, over the years, when he used to deal with the Unity Party government, when he used to deal with the Nuka situation and talk about the Unity Party people in a fashion and ways that he used to do it, my uncle was working in the Unity Party government. And when he's speaking to down, we used to be like, okay, just got ready again. But at a certain point in time, as I stated today, we just want to hear the unique side of Heron's story. We're going to do more of a politics because I know some of you who to be on here, y'all want to hear politics. I want to hear about Heron, which side Heron going to take. But surprisingly, to never going to be about which side Heron taking in the political field of Liberia. Today, we're just going to talk. We will go into politics a little, but we're not going to go into the deep politics that you want to hear, or why he's choosing Joseph Waka, why he's not choosing a designer communists or whatever. No. That ain't going to be part of our conversation. Our conversation is going to be squarely about Liberia, if possible. Talk about Heron, talk about a unique story of Heron Petro Costa. Who is Heron Petro Costa? What they say that people do not know about Heron Petro Costa, his challenges, his toughest moment in his life. All the kind of things we're going to have conversation around it. Then if we're talking about Liberia, we're going to talk about the side of development. Because I heard Heron Costa one time talking about Botswana and talking about issues that Botswana doing, and he made mention of some of the developmental agenda in that country. And I would love for him to talk about more about Botswana. So, Heron will be talking more about Liberia issues because one time I heard Heron talking about the Liberian people, he used a word called the Stockholm syndrome. They have been used to suffering. So at a certain point in time, when they see good people, they do not recognize it because they are used to suffering, like the children of Egypt when God sent them through to get to Israel when leaving the wilderness. They were used to the suffering of Pharaoh to the point where at a certain point in time when Moses couldn't provide what they wanted, all they said to Moses is, it better take up out to be in slavery than to bring out here because I think it was okay for all to stay with Pharaoh and be suffering than to die in the wilderness. So today, Heron will be our guest. Heron will be on shortly, and I can rest assure you, Heron had just confirmed that he's right in the background right now, and he will be joining us shortly. So for those of you who just joining us, we want to say share the show, invite other people to come and hear the story of Mr. Heron Petro Costa, the unique story of Mr. Heron Petro Costa. I know some of you would really love to talk politics. Yeah. So today we're not going to be talking more about politics. We want to talk about Mr. Petro Costa's story. And the good thing about these things, they're going to stay in in the cloud. That's the beauty of these kind of interviews and the kind of recording. And for those of you who just joining us, this is the Logan's Hour. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and you can go on YouTube and just tap in Logan's Hour. You can go on Facebook and tap on Logan's Hour. And tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be having two of our sisters who have just agreed to have another show on the Logan's Hour, and that show is called Thank God is Fabulous. So Thank God is Fabulous is going to come to you every Friday. Every Friday, Thank God is Fabulous is going to come to you on the Logan's Hour. So for those of you who don't know, today you saw the flyer, and trust me. So it's going to be coming to you every Friday, as I stated. Every Friday, Thank God is Fabulous is going to be broadcast on the Logan's Hour. We are asking all of you, Liberians and outside the Liberian community, and who also live in the Liberian community, to join this program. Let's make it unique. Let's make it in a way that we can disseminate our information to the people of this community and the people outside this community as well. So, so Thank God is Fabulous is going to be on the Logan's Hour. We are excited for that. And we want to say thanks to everyone who always joined this program. So today we're going to have Mr. Costa. He's going to join us shortly. He also confirmed in the back here. He asked if he can join the program right now. I just asked him in 10 minutes he can join us. So all of you who have your question, somebody called me the other day. The question I get for Henry Costa, I got this question, I got that question. You think Henry never shy away from questions? It's one thing I know. He's a commentator. So someone who is from the microphone every day, if you love to ask a question, you can ask a question. You can be most civil when it comes to your question, because any question that go against the rules and regulations of the Logan's Hour, we're going to cut you off. Your question should be straight to the point, and your question should be specifically to the topic. So we are not going to be asking questions about why ANC, why CDC, and why this, that. We're going to be asking the question. So Henry going to be on shortly. Those of you who want to see Henry, I can see some Henry people just right there saying, bring Henry on right now, bring Henry on right now. I remember the other day when I had an interview with Mr. Tiawan Gongolo here. That's how people were like, oh, bring Mr. Gongolo on. But surprisingly, Mr. Gongolo not internet, but he said he's how do you call it? BBC. That's calling Mr. Gongolo. He said he's BBC. He born before computer, and that day he has a little technical difficulties in connecting to the video, but Mr. Gongolo was on audio, and Mr. Gongolo was very extemporaneous. He explained his policy and what he want to do for the Liberian people as well, and I was impressed. And we look forward in the future to getting good and personalities, people that are running for our government offices, to appear on the Logan's Hour and talk to the people of Indiana and talk to the people of Liberia as well. And right now we are embarking on a project. We're building a radio station in Margibi County, trust me. And when the radio station is built in Margibi County, at least the people of Margibi will also have the opportunity to hear from people like Henry Costa. The other day I had what his name here, Representative Vincent Woolley as well. He expressed his gratitude to the people of Indiana, and also Senator Jeepon Smith were also here, and he also expressed a lot of great things of the people of Indiana. So if you just joining, I want to say we are on the Logan's Hour. We are happy that you are here, and we're going to just take this short break. We'll be back, and we'll come back. All right. We are here. All right, so let's recognize some of the people who following on. I see Prince T. Kotuwali following on from Bantor. I see my Oma Annie Gibson following us. I see Modu Dawing and Aloysius Tito Harris, of course. I expect him to be here. I see Chokon Jaje, my wife, Samar Princess Liwe Hamu, Logan. She's following us here. And I see my dear brother and friend G Consistent Morris. He's also following here. And those of you who following, I see my dear sister Orita Joe Banks following us. I see my own baby Celine Valentino following us here. And I see Honorable Jan Volule following us. I see my dear friend and brother Mohammed Sangari. Sangari is also here as well. And all of you who joined the Logan's Hour today, we want to say thank you for joining us. And we have one of the Arizona, Mr. Weir, thank you for joining us as well. Patient, thank you for joining us. And today we have one of the sons, one of Liberia most popular songs, Mr. Heron Petro Costa. He will be in our studio very shortly. He just sent a text if I can bring him on right now. I told him to just hang on for at least 10 minutes to have people at least clicking on for now. But trust me. Okay, so I'm just gonna get Mr. Costa now and bring him so we can start a conversation. I know some people here specifically they want to hear Mr. Costa. So instead of waiting for a lot of people to join the conversation, I'm just gonna tell Mr. Costa to join the conversation while we're on the conversation. And some people are gonna join us. But those of you who stay delaying, Mr. Costa will just be with us for just an hour, just 1 hour talking about his life. So we'll not be here for too long. You know, today Friday, Mr. Costa will just give us an hour of his time. So we we appreciate him so much for joining the Logan's Hour today. Yep. So let me get Mr. Costa on the screen right now. All right, so Mr. Costa will be joining us shortly. I see oh, Mr. We is a fan of Mr. Henry Petro Costa. So Costa people they hear plenty tonight. Trust me, Costa people hear plenty tonight. Costa, Henry Petro Costa. I see your people joining us. We want to say thank you to Julius. Thank you, Mazwe, Edwin, Daminko, Wonder. Thank you for joining the Logan's Hour. And we want to say to all of you who have joined us here today, let's enjoy this conversation. Let's enjoy here. If you would love to ask a question, the number will be pinned. And the number going to be pinned right now. And you will ask a question at least 10 minutes to the end of the show. So the number you're going to see, you will be sending you'll be calling this number to participate on the show. But it's going to be 10 minutes to the end of this program. So to all of you who would love to ask questions, all of you who would love to be part of this program today, you can also ask a question here today. But you can put your question in the comment section as well. If your question relates to issues that are under discussion here, we'll also ask those questions. If your questions do not align with what we're discussing here, if that's something. Yeah, I know you for hearing patient. Okay, so all the people that are here for Mr. Costa. Mr. Costa will be joining us shortly. He's already right here. We can see him. Oh, my people, Heron Petro Costa. The people let a leader, hero. The hero going to be coming shortly. You know, the reason why I invited the hero when I extended an invitation to the hero, my point to him was, Mr. Costa, I know you have done so many good things for Liberia. You have been fighting for Liberia. We have seen your bravery over the years. We have seen you embarking on so many journeys and risking your life for the sake of Liberia. But what is that story? What is that story? What is that drive? What has been motivating you over the years? What is it that you have in you, that burning you, that you want to see Liberia become? Because if you can challenge the status quo, challenge Balanceli government, and in subsequent times challenge the we-are-led government, then it means you are a great God. It means you have this passion that is burning you. So we're going to talk about Mr. Costa passion here tonight. We're going to talk about that drive that make him, he just can allow any government who is misbehaving on the Liberian people to just go alone. So Mr. Costa will be here to talk to us about some of those things. So some of you who would love to ask a question to Mr. Heron Petro Costa, you can also ask a question. Mr. Costa will be here to join us. So today you can follow us 3 ways. You can go on my personal page. You see there, Philip, so you got Logan. You can also go on our station page. Is there Logan's Hour? Then you can go on YouTube. We have on our YouTube page, we have their Logan Hour as well. So all the 3 ways you can join us. And trust me, whatever comment you put on each of the pages, we're going to see it right here, live in front of us. We will ask Mr. Costa the questions as well as he come into our studio. So trust me, you can go ahead right now and begin to put your question. What we're going to do for those questions that you're going to be posting, we're going to queue them. So when Mr. Costa starts his conversation, and when we go deep into the conversation, we're going to also ask him the basic questions that are going to be popping up from those of you who are going to ask Mr. Petro Costa the questions. So sticking still, join the conversation. Mr. Costa, he's our guest tonight. And trust me, everything you want to know about Mr. Henry Petro Costa, we ask those questions. Every question you feel you have is that have been issued brand new that you love to ask Mr. Henry Petro Costa, ask the question. I see my cousin just joined. Olivia keep on Cheyi. She just joined us here. I want to say welcome, Olivia. And to all of you who just joined us, we want to say thank you for joining the conversation as well. So let's go ahead and see if we can get Mr. Costa in right now. So what somebody I wanted to see here, his name is the Crime Ambassador. The Crime Ambassador, he said, I want to ask Mr. Costa my question. You got some sound coming from the background. You sure? Hold on. Let me see. What is sound coming from the background? Let me see here. Let me know if you can stay here, sound coming from the background, because I think all my mixer here is okay. So let me see what's going on here. What are you talking about, Mr. Prince? All right, Mr. Prince Jigga, I think I'm okay. It's for you. It's for your device, Mr. Jacob. I'm also watching myself as well. So normally watch myself as I'm on, and I use that to see those following me as well. And so today, if you having any sound coming from the background, that should be from your device, or probably because I'm close to the microphone, it could be. Oh, okay. Yes, probably I close to the microphone because the microphone is very sensitive, So I can just push it a little to have it the right way. So at least I can be too close to it. But today we have Mr. Costa. He would join us just in a split. And when we start a conversation, those of you who would love to join the conversation, you can participate by asking your questions. You can also participate by calling in 30 minutes to the end of the show, as I stated. So what we say to you now, don't forget, we have one of our Liberian brother and who very, very creative, Mario, very innovative. They have this movie coming up called Message from the King, Message from King Arthur. So Message from King Arthur VIP tickets sold out already. So they have the regular ticket. So to have the regular ticket, the price is just $25 for regular ticket. So don't forget to join my brother Mario, and the premiere is coming up on Saturday, April 8th. So get ready. It's gonna be at 6450 Western Street, Indianapolis, Indiana 46214. So get ready for the premiere. So I see Mr. Costa is in the waiting room right now. So those of you who want to see your hero, because everybody did here, oh, bring the hero on, bring the hero on, the hero gonna. Okay, so the representative aspirant of district number 8, Mr. Alvin T. Penner, say his greetings to Mr. Henry Petro Costa. So I see Mr. Costa people popping up here. Bring the hero on, bring the hero on. But thank God that Mr. Costa have just joined us. And sorry. All right. So the Mr. Costa, as I stated from the beginning here, Mr. Costa will be with us for just 1 hour. And some of you who have all your political questions you love to ask, we disappoint you today because we're going to talk about a unique story of Mr. Henry Petro Costa. We're going to talk about that story that took him from Washington and left a grandma Japan. So we're going to talk about that Washington story. We're going to talk about the Heron that nobody knew, and all of a sudden, Heron popped to prominence. And today, Heron is one of the 33 most influential person in Africa. We'll talk about that as well. And those of you who would love to ask most of those questions as well, you can also post your question in the comment section. And no problem. All right, so let me just state it. We will be here for the hour stated. So Mr. Costa will not be here for too long. 2 days ago, Mr. Costa was on his show and he been feeling little ill. So he just decided to honor our invitation because he's a man of the word. He said it from the beginning, and so he couldn't just turn down his word. But we have seen him 2 days now. He been very ill on his show. So today conversation going to be about Mr. Costa's life, as I stated, and we will draft a little more. Maybe if you want to talk about University of Liberia, he'll also be privileged to do that. If you want to speak more about other issues, fine. But we just want to hear about who is this Costa and where this Costa came from. So we will talk about Mr. Costa. So those of you following us, we want to say thank you for joining us here on the Logan's Hour. And now we're going to take this short commercial. We'll come back. We're going to be bringing Mr. Costa in our studio. Thank you. And thanks for being on the Logan's Hour. The Honorable Herman Petro Costa. How are you, my dear brother?
My brother, how are you?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's
Thank
a
you.
privilege to have you here today and live on the Logan's Hour. The people of Indiana, they are convinced now that Mr. Costa have shown his face for the first time. And we want to say thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, brother Philip. Thanks. And I'm very glad to be here. Very glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Costa. So those of you following us, we have Mr. Herman Petro Costa down with us. And as I stated, you can see for his face, he's not too okay. And he been complaining on low minor headache 2 days now on his show. So today he decided on the cause of the Logan's Hour, and we extended an invitation to him. And specifically, we told him, Mr. Costa, we have heard about you, we have followed you, and it will be an honor that we hear about this Herman Costa and where you came from and your story. We asked him to please tell us his story on the Logan's Hour. So it is a privilege to have him here, that we will hear for himself, his story. And all right, are you there? You okay?
Yeah, I was trying to
you,
adjust.
You try to adjust the camera. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see that. I see that. All
Yeah.
right, Petro, because we are not here for too long, so let's go into it as well. Those of you who already know him, you already know him. For some of our people in town here who follow up on YouTube, because we have a whole lot of other people follow us on the YouTube. So we just want to ask Mr. Costa to please introduce himself, then we can get the ball rolling. But if you want to ask a question, put your question in the comment section. We're going to queue the questions as well. All right, Mr. Costa, go ahead.
Thank you once again, Philip. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to say shout out to wonderful folks there in Indiana. I've heard so much about. I look forward to coming. My junior brother Elisha been trying to get me down there, you know, and I look forward to coming down there soon. I'm Henry Costa. I'm a Liberian citizen, and I'm a radio talk show host, a political commentator, a business person, and I'm a father. You know, I'm a friend, and I'm just an ordinary guy. That's what it is. That's just about it.
I'm just an ordinary guy. Yeah, we're ordinary. Yeah, we're ordinary. I like it. Yeah. So, Heron, man, honestly, I'm gonna stick to what I told you during the time I sent the invitation. I told you today. I just want to hear about your story. I just want to hear about your story. So, tell us, who is this Heron that came from Washington at the age of 80 years old? Who is this Herman Costa?
Well, I like to share when I talk about my story. I like to talk about, you know, the fact that I come from a very humble beginning to be where I am today. I was born in a little village in Mashitown, in a place called Mashitown, a village that was established with my great grandfather.
All right, Heron having a little delay. His internet is okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So I was born in that little village, and I was there until 8 years old, and the war came in 1990. I was 8 years old, and we moved to Monrovia. I explained the story. I think it was this morning. I came to the town with a big bundle of cassava leaves on my head for several miles. I can never forget that. I mean, that was the longest distance I had ever walked in my life. And you know, we settled in town, and then we stayed. We never went back. And you know, my mother. At some point, I left my mother to go to stay with my uncle in Brewerville, seeking a better life. And yeah, I mean, life was tough. It was very difficult growing up. I will tell you that, my brother Philip. You know, I had to, you know, bounce around from place to place. But the most difficult period in my life, I like to share the most difficult parts of my life, not the
that's
comfort.
good.
Was when it was during a period when I was pretty much I had lost myself. I had pretty much I was very, very frustrated. I wanted to come to the United States so badly. That was my dream. I wanted to come to school in America, and I was just, for a good number of years, nothing seemed like nothing was working for me. And so I just was very disillusioned. So I found pleasure and solace in reading. For some reason, reading was something I really love to do. And so I read a lot. I said, okay, well, since I can't go to America to go to school now, I'm just going to self-educate. And the internet was not popular then; it was pretty expensive. If you own a phone that was that had internet capability. So and then of course in 2005, one day, Ambassador Winston Tubman had gone to Stephen Tubman Estate where I lived. I had come from Burrowville. I was staying there with this like big sister of mine. It was the last phase of the 2003 war. We used to talk about World War I, World War II, World War III, right?
Yeah.
So I was staying there, and Winston Tubman came to the estate. It was 2005, the election. They were getting ready for the elections, and they were having a little impromptu program, and they said they needed someone to speak for the youth. I was sitting at home that day. Apparently, I was immersed in this big book I had called the English Literature. And my friends came to me and said, hey, Ambassador Winston Tubman is here. Of course, I already knew who Winston Tubman was. He had just retired from the UN as a special representative of the Secretary General to Somalia. So I went to the program. I got to the program. They practically dragged me to go there to speak for the youth. And I said to the guys, I'm shy. And I'm really shy in real life, I feel it. But when I'm a very shy person. So I said, you guys got some beer yet? Because they have light refreshment. I said, can I get 2 bottles of beer so I can drink it quickly and maybe it will help? So but it really didn't help. So I got the 2 bottles, the small beer, not even the big one, the small beer. I drank it quick, thinking that it would help. And then I went up there and I spoke. And after I spoke, and Ambassador Tubman got up and said, young man, you're such a brilliant young man. And what's your name? And I called my name, and he said to me, he gave me his phone number. To me, it was a big deal. This is a man I had been listening to I've been listening to on the BBC, giving interviews about the crisis in Somalia. And this is a prominent figure. Went to Harvard, went to London School of Economics in Cambridge, and telling me that he was impressed with me. He was fascinated. I'm like, what? I was like, what, 24, 23, something like that. I was 24, 25 years old. And that was it. So the first time I went to see Ambassador Winston Tubman, he invited me to a lunch with some other guys who had come from the United States. He was running for president. So they had a lunch meeting at Sam's Barbecue. You know where that is, Philip?
Yeah. I think 24th Street or something.
Thank you. I was very, very slim. I wasn't anything like this. So I went to Sam's Barbecue. It was like, that was like a big appointment for me. It was a big meeting, for me. It was a big deal. So I get to the place. Apparently, Ambassador Tubman had told all these people that Henry Costa, this young man, this brilliant young man he met, was coming to have lunch with them. So I get to the place, and all these boys from America, I remember some of them very well. And they were like, the first thing when I saw me, like, okay, is it? In a rather condescending way, Philip. They were like, okay, this is the kid that we're waiting for, that the chief is telling us about. So I sat down and I, gauged the conversation. I was very nervous.
Yeah.
But then I realized, they were being combative. They were trying to put me down, condescend toward me. And that's the last thing I would take from anyone, try to disrespect me intellectually, because you can, no matter how old you are. So, I landed a couple of punches, and then Winston was like, yeah, Costa, that's very, very good. I was like, okay, good. So, and then of course, eventually we started working together. I had no official portfolio. I was like a political aide to him. And I would, he would talk to me about just about everything. He would share books with me to read, and he really did play a key role in mentoring me. But my dream was, of course, to come to the States to go to school. Then 2005 elections, he did not win, and in 2000 we kept in touch. 2011 election, I still wasn't doing anything. I hadn't gone to college. I was bothered with that. It felt like I had this vacuum, bro, that I needed to fill, like a void. Like you got a big void that you need to fill. Maybe you want to go learn that skill, or you want to do that thing, or you want to build a house, or you want to get that car. It's something that's just there, bro. It doesn't go away until you take care of it.
Yeah, I was citing you have to get a paper.
Thank you. So 2011 elections came. I play a much important role then. McGill was Nathaniel McGill, the former minister, the now sanction man. So we all were together. And then the elections ended. Then my man, DJ Blue. I'm sure you know who DJ Blue is, right?
Bernard Benson.
Bernard Benson. He's a brother, you know?
Yeah.
So Bernard Benson said, look, my man, you gotta come on the show. You gotta come start a show. Hot FM was primarily an entertainment radio station. They didn't do politics at all. But Blue said, my man, come and do something on the show. Come set up a show. I was like, how am I gonna do a show? He said, I mean, you have it in you. I didn't even believe I could do it. And there was this guy, a friend of mine, Menipake Dumoy. You know brother Dumoy?
Yeah, I know Dumoy.
Dumoy was, much exposed. Dumoy had already been vice chair in a political party, Simeon Freeman's party, MPC.
Yeah, MPC.
Dumoy had a little bit of notoriety about him. He had already been arrested before for political reasons. So the men were out there. I was not. Well, kind of show my man Dumoy what things he the tackle on the show. I will leak bad. I was like, cool, okay, I can understand. I got better name recognition than all than me. Nobody really knows me. Who started the show? It was called the Costa Dumoy Show. This is in 2012. Dumoy got and said the guys didn't live up to the terms. The money they had said they were going to secure contracts for us to sponsor the show. And things were kind of slow. They didn't happen on time. So Dumoy got mad. He left. So I stayed. Dumoy said, my man, let go. I said, no, my man, I want to stay. I stayed. I never went after the money.
Yeah.
I said,
you were looking at something bigger than the money.
Yes. Now that I'm on it. And I'm not saying this to put my friend down. I mean, they made a promise. But they made a promise to us, but the money didn't come through when they said it would come through. But I stayed because I loved now that I had a platform. I had a voice. I like to talk. I like to talk about things I care about. So I stayed. And then eventually the money came. But my mentor was say, oh, my man, that show will die. You alone can do that show. You are not able to do it. So when Dumoy left, the show was still called the Costa Dumoy Show for like a couple of days. I told the management, I said, look, Blue, we got to drop the man name. Blue said, yeah, but the man not coming back. So the show now became the Costa Show. That's the history of the Costa Show. So I started the show. And then everybody was like, but we love the show even more. Because the way the show used to be with me and Dumoy, the way they set the show up, Dumoy and I would discuss issues, and we should always disagree on certain issues so that it can look like we are debating. I really didn't like that, to be like debating with him about issues. I wanted to be able to preach against things. I didn't want to be intellectual aspiring or trying to impress people who's smarter, who can debate better. To me, that was not it was not substantive. It was not worth it. I wanted to talk about things that were happening to the people in the country. And so the show changed. And that's it. And that's how because the show was born.
Wow.
And that was it.
Wow.
It just
yeah, because I like that. I like the story of you coming to permanent with the Costa show. But the story I'm really interested in right now is that humble beginning. That story with Jeremiah Walker. That story where they made you to kneel down in front of the girl you're looking at. Tell me about that story, Mr. Costa.
Oh, man, there was this girl, fine hair, my man, Audrey Sherman, Bakary Misha, my man, went there. My man, my uncle said I should go sing in the choir, Yubo. The man be there, I can sing. You know, when I was growing up, bro, I had a very what's the word to describe? I had the voice of a soprano singer, somebody who could sing soprano. Soprano, bro, first peel. You got soprano, you got alto, you got tenor, you got bass. Exactly.
Bass.
And the only people who sang soprano were the girls. And then
of course, yes.
The auditorium, you got the four pews, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. The man said, I'm going to sing soprano and I'm going to sit with the girls. Even alto, there were no boy. So they forced me to join the choir. So I know he's want to join the choir. I know when we go, how forgetting her name, Audrey. I'll forget again. I'm feeling how you can forget who's gonna be with me.
I know, right?
Yeah. So my uncle was there. So one day he came, and the auditorium, they got a platform, and the choir pews were up on the platform in the left corner towards that side. So he never saw me up there. I said, huh? That man stood up. He went to the podium. Where is Henry Costa? You got a 300-400 students sitting there in the auditorium, you boy. Man.
Just singling you out.
And the girl was also in the choir. I think Audrey at the time, Audrey was in the choir. The man singled me up. The man called me up. He said, young man, come up here. I got up. My man, people used to fear that man, my man. The man said, kneel down. Young man, kneel down. I went down. He said, no, sit. I said, sit and stretch your legs out. It was one of the most humiliating moments of my life. I will go to the grave with that moment.
Yeah.
Sat there with my legs stretched out. The whole, if you dropped a pin, you could hear it. And I sat there. And I was so humiliated. He said, the next time you don't go up and sit with the choir. So you know what I used to do? I was forced not to sit there. So I used to sit with the guys on the tenor or the bass bench. Then when it's time for us to sing there, I will come up with the guys.
Everybody was surprised at the first bench.
At the first bench. You know, but then guess what now? So our music teacher was a guy called Uriah Brooks. So Uriah Brooks said, I will try to train your voice so that you can go sing tenor.
Okay.
So eventually he helped me. I moved from the ladies' bench. I went to the guys' bench. Yeah. You know, so that's so I mean, and talking about humble beginning, I come from a very cool.
That Mr. Jeremiah Walker story, because the other day I follow you, right? You talk about Jeremiah Walker and how he was so strict with his discipline, and he really don't care where you came from or what. Yeah. And I try to picture you from a point that the hearing that sounds on the radio is different from the hearing that you can meet in person. That's how I saw you. And even when I sent the invitation to you, you were like very calm and like, okay, that's good. Let me know when you want me to show up. And in fact, this is my number. I'm like, whoa, this guy, what I thought you're going to be quizzing me and asking what your show is about, what do you discuss? And I'm like, and even 2 days, because when I heard you on I think Wednesday, you wasn't feeling well. And I said, oh my God, he will not show up. And when I reached out to you on Thursday, I said, hey, Aaron, we stay okay for that? You said, okay, yes, sure. I said, whoa. We are, trust me, we are excited to have you here.
I want to say this to you, Philip. You know, all the people who know me, you know, they will tell you, I'm a very shy person, and people think I'm arrogant, but I'm not. Look, Philip, when you do what I do, and you throw punches, and you're fighting for something, and you're passionate about something, you will create a lot of enemies. You'll make a lot of enemies. And if you're passionate, sometimes it may come across as arrogance. Sure. If you're confident, it will come across as being cocky. But you just believe in what you do. I don't come from a wealthy family. That's why I'm proud to say I am the first from my mother's side of the family to go to college. You know what I said? I'm going to go to college. I'm going to stay in school. I'm going to get this bachelor's degree. However old I am, I will do it. And after I've done it, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a master's degree, my man. I went back to back.
Yeah.
And I did it. And if I had no amount of money I would have would ever make me more proud than getting that paper. You know how many people told me, oh, you're smart, but so what? You don't get a degree. Philip, the way we live our life, we have to constantly silence people, our naysayers, our detractors. It's true. You have to constantly work to improve yourself. You should continue to improve yourself until the day you die. Never stop growing. And that is what I believe in. Now, when I look at myself today, I value myself in terms of what I have here and not what I have in the bank. I value myself in terms of what I have in my heart, the love I have for people, no matter how forceful, how passionate I sound, it's just passion. I don't hate anybody, bro.
That's fair. That's fair. And I wanted to ask you this question about your gift, because you just talked about it and you came to permanent on the Hot FM. And that's where you realize that this thing in you, it could take you a very long way if you just use it properly. And do you sometimes feel that those people that are attracted to you, call you hero and follow you everywhere you go, do you sometimes feel that they are just behind you because of their gift and not just because of yourself?
You mean
your voice that God put in your intellectual abilities to dissect and articulate the issues?
I want to say this.
Mhm.
The thing is, I believe truly that this is the gift. People say, "Oh, you're gifted." I don't think that way. I think I think I work hard. I mean, uh, I think what I have does not amount to a gift. I think I know gifted people when I see them.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't think I'm gifted. Um, I think I just work hard to be where I am,
Mhm.
and that's it. There's nothing special about me, um, and that's it. Yep, yep.
Okay. So anyway, we will be climaxing shortly. So let me just ask you this, Heron. I know you talk about how you came, and now the Heron Costa that the whole country want to see. He's sitting here presently. But what are some of your worst movements comparing from June 7, January protests, and you have gone against two successive administration, the Ellen Johnson administration for 12 good years, George Weah against 6 years. What have been some of your worst movement ever?
Well, the last two administrations, I really suffered a lot. Um, you know, Ellen put me in jail twice, and Weah chased me out, shut down my radio station. Ellen did the same, and it's been difficult. People think that what we do is easy. It's not. People condemn you. They want you to be right every time. They want you to make them happy every time, and everybody has their own version of you, what they think you are.
Mhm.
It's a very difficult thing. I've grown to overcome certain things. I have matured. I always tell people I'm a work in progress. I'm not the same Henry Costa who started out 2012. I'm a better version of myself,
Mhm.
and I don't think anybody can break me. I've passed through a whole lot, lots and lots of trials and tribulation, and I think it has just been God. God has been so good to me, Philip. He has been marvelous. I come from nothing. I come from absolutely nothing to be where I am today. I don't have money, yes, but my name is worth a lot, and to be at my age one of the most influential people. Some people say, and some people say one of the most notorious people. Whatever they say one man's hero is another man's villain.
Mhm.
So I am just humble, and I tell people what I have. The most important thing I have is my faith in God. Is what carries me through. And what keeps me in check, bro, is number one, the fear of God. Number two, the fear of the people. The fear of the people. What do I mean by that? If you aspire to leadership, you have to fear the people. You have to fear God first, your maker. You must
Mhm.
fear the people. What do I mean by that? If you do not have fear of the people or fear for the people, that what and when I say fear, that is that you cannot do certain things, even though you may be an individual, yeah, you got your right to do whatever you want to do, but you get to a point where society owns you now, or society maybe not own you per se, but
Mhm.
society has they have equity in you. You're
True.
like a corporation, a public corporation,
Mhm.
and society owns a large stake in a public corporation. Your wife owns a stake in it. Your children own stake in it, but society does own a share in it. So you cannot just behave any way you want. For example, if I got up today after preaching all this stuff against what George Weah is doing to our country, and I got up today and said, well, you know what? I don't care. Let me go strike a deal with the CDC government and go and support them. Guess what? That would be a wrong thing to do.
It's true.
I do not have the luxury to do that.
You disappoint so many people.
Yes, then that means I don't have fear for the people. So fear God and fear the people. Fear disappointing the people. Fear making them angry. A good leader must have those qualities. Fear God first and fear the people. And that's what I try to be.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I hear your story today. It just kept my mind back to my own personal story because exactly where we share so many things in common. Trust me. I was like 15 years old. I used to be in Firestone with my parents, and My parents had so many children. I just got up one evening. I told my mom, I'm going to Monrovia. She said, where you going? I stop a taxi and I go in the back. You know, in the VIP, when you're married, correct? I go in the VIP, I went to Monrovia, and that was the story. I never went back to my parents' house. And I stayed in Monrovia, graduated from college and everything. And you and I share so many things. We shared in August. You were born August 6th. I was born August 8th. You were born 82. I was born 83. So we share so many things together, man. I'm excited that you are here today. And those of you following us, Henry is not too well. He will be leaving in the next 10 minutes. So if you love to ask your question, you can.
Let me certainly take some questions. I want to interact with my people, especially my Indiana people. I look
Indiana people, the number is on the screen. So the number is 401-359-5072. If you love to interact with Henry Costa for the next 10 minutes, as I stated, Henry will be here for the next 10 minutes. So if you love to put your question through, but take your question to Henry life story. Let's talk about today. We're not talking politics. Now every time when you see Henry, let's talk about this politics, let's talk about politics. Let's talk about his life story. Talk about you see some things that Henry talk here, that things that you people don't even know about. People don't know people joining. Some of them, when they see you, they say, oh, remember about say what's spoon. Okay, I got my first caller here. Let me hear what the person. Go ahead, caller.
Good evening, Philip. This is Jeremiah Cheer calling from Indianapolis.
Oh.
Good evening to Petro Costa.
Good evening, my brother.
I feel so elated for the fact that you can host Costa on the show, try to bring us information from his humble beginnings. He's a fighter. I believe those are the kind of inspiration we need as young people around us and amongst us, because this man has put the test of time, and I believe that for our generation, there's always someone ahead, and those people must be the figurehead of our own revolution, and he has been there, he has been trying testing. So I just want all of us young people to sometimes in the future look up to what best we can take from him and help him to become who he tends to be, how far he can take his career, and make sure that we always foster our guardians through his leadership, because this man has a long history of being in the vanguard of advocacy for our country, especially those of us around here today. So I just want to say thanks to you, Philip, for inviting Don Pedro, and Indiana says you are welcome anytime, sir.
Thank you so much, Jeremiah Cheer. So that was the voice of Mr. Jeremiah Cheer.
Jeremiah.
So I have another caller here again. Go ahead, caller. You gotta lower your receiver in the background, caller.
Yeah. This is Alex, Mr. Weir.
Okay, Mr. Weir, go ahead.
Yeah. I would like to say thank you for the show, and also welcome my man there, Petro.
Mm-hmm.
Petro, thank you very much for being on the show. I can say you are in my town. And I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Weir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Go ahead, quick.
One of the questions that I have is, I'm impressed, by the way, for taking your time to be here. Even though you're not feeling too well, but you made it your business to come. But the thing I want to know is people who always say, oh, they're Costa, people who don't know you, but they get hear news from other people and they say, oh, Costa is like to cause people, Costa is, but they don't know you as a person. Like one lady I engaged recently, she was just saying it because she heard people talking there.
Mm-hmm.
But Costa, one person that if you are going to cause, I would like for you to call that person again, is that Eva Mape
Morgan.
Morgan. That Eva Mape Morgan woman. That kid, they cannot get out of my head. And those are the things that I pray that when you get in position, you will go after those cases and see the end of it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for being on the show. And we are here one day. I hope to see you in Indiana.
Thank you so much, Mr. Weir. Let's get the other caller here. The people just keep bouncing. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller. Let's make it short, Mr. Caller. Go ahead, caller. All right. So this person, I think they're all right. So I have another caller here. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Filipino, it's Tito Harris.
Hey, Tito Harris.
Joining you guys, I'm joining you guys from Phoenix, Arizona.
All right.
Just want to tell people out here, thank you for coming. You know, like Philly, you saying, you called me earlier and you told me that you spoke to Henry and Henry was so kind.
Yeah.
And you were respectful. I said Henry there for you.
Yeah.
The man gets
Yeah.
the version of himself.
Yeah.
When you on the Henry Costa show, that's different Henry Costa. And when you know him in person, that's different Henry Costa. I'm privileged to have him as my mentor and big brother. I look forward to seeing him in person in Indiana. I just want to tell you, thank you for coming, and you guys have a great show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we're going to take only 3 more calls, and we will be climaxing. So I'm going to take this other call. Go ahead, caller. Load the receiver in the background. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Logan, this is Jan Bolula calling from the state of Indiana.
Okay, Mr. Bulula, go ahead.
Want to, welcome the hero in the city of Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Costa, we want to say thank you so much for honoring the invitation to speak to us here in Indiana. It's something that we've all been wanting to see happen, and Mr. Logan make it happen. One there tonight that really resonated is when you are passionate about something, the way you voice it out, people will term it as you are arrogant, you are rude, and you are yelling, and stuff. So it's something that I think I'm suffering from in a city here. That every time I voice it out, people say, "Oh yeah, you're too loud," and stuff. So when you said that tonight, I try to assess what people been telling me. I say, "Oh, okay, this is where it's coming from." It is not what really, people saying that I meant to do. So I just want to say thanks tonight for your little, story it gave other people, some of our motivation in life to, believe in what we do and keep, pushing forward.
Okay.
I hope the next time you come without into the real politics and for us to pick your brain on some of your ideologies of why you want to see the country, go. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah, Costa, I just want to know what are your dislike and liking left. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, caller. So let me take the other caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay.
Hey, first of all, I want to extend my regards to the senior man, Don Petro. This is Jeremiah. This guy is very humble guy. When he interact with me, as you say, when I went to Delaware to see him, he made the time available for us to interact.
Okay.
And he's a very good person. When you see him on the radio, he's a different Henry Costa. But when I went on his birthday there from Indiana, he was very, very open. And we even have a photo we take together. But my question to Don Pedro is, what was he thinking for the 10 months that he supported CTC? What was he thinking?
Okay.
Why he made that move, and what are some of the reasons he think it was necessary to do that for 10 months? Because I feel he wasted his 10 months supporting a government who did not bring any change.
All right, thank you. Hold on, go ahead, caller. We've been trying to avoid politics here today. Go ahead, caller.
No, that's a good question, Philip.
Yeah,
that's a very good
how
question.
you doing, sir?
I'm okay. Your name and where you call from?
This is Mr. Denua.
Okay.
This is Brother Dino. Is Henry listening?
Yes, he's listening.
I'm listening to you,
Are you
Pop.
building another platform again?
Oh my God. I extended my invitation to Henry. So
Okay, but let me answer.
yeah. Okay. So we're gonna end here for now. The Henry address your questions. Go ahead, Henry.
Yeah. So the brother asked a question. What did I expect? That's a very valid question. You know, I like to be fair. You see, but let me tell you why I did that. During the second round of the election, I supported Joseph Human Boakai. And if election were today, I would support Joseph Human Boakai again, especially with what we see now. But after we are won, I said to myself, I tried my best to stop this guy from winning. I told them, Jolobo and Poissy, the people they chose Jolobo. And so I said, let me give Weah what they call the benefit of the doubt. He's president now. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt and see what he would do. I said, well, I will give him 1 year. I said it publicly to see how he performs. As the brother correctly said, I went 10 months. I could not finish the contract. It was too bad. I regret, but you see, I don't regret giving him the benefit of the doubt. I regret that I even expected him to not start disappointing or so him. That's what I regret. So I wanted to be in a position to say, so people can say you are not fair.
Okay.
Because you see, my brother, the man you hate the man hard, the man won the election. You can get a man small time too. So it was like you let the man see what the man will do. I wanted people to say, when I start talking, at least they will say, oh, at least Henry Costa gained time, but he did not do anything. And that's what I did.
Thank you.
The moment
I have this person. Just a second, Henry. Go ahead. Go ahead, quick.
Hey, Logan, thank you, man. Costa, thank you for coming again. Welcome to our city. I hope that you can come back again. My name is Prince Jacob.
Okay.
But I'm very glad because when Logan posted this poster, I said, I hope, and finally you made it for us, and this shouldn't be the first or should be the last. We hope you can come back again, and one day maybe we can visit you to come see our city. So I'm happy to see you on the platform, and we look forward for tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Henry. So we will be ending the calls now because Henry just going to address those callers out, make their points true. Then he can go and take his rights. We all know that.
Just somebody else asked, Philip, what are my likes and my dislikes?
Yeah, Maurice Gould.
Yeah, brilliant question. I dislike injustice. I dislike people trying to put somebody down. Like, oh, you feel like you're better than somebody. I hate it. Yeah. I don't like it. It boils my blood. No matter who you are to me, you do that to somebody, I don't like it. No matter what that person is or what they know, everybody to me is important. That's why I risk. See what we did with Justina Taylor. We risked our business. We lost our radio station. And today, she's alive. God first. But God used us to intervene to save her life. What do I like? I like I like good people. People who do good things. I think what makes you a good person is not how much money you have or how much book you know. What makes you a good person is how you care for people, the impact you make in the world. That's what makes you a good person. And I pride myself on being a good person. You can never be a good person to everybody. Those who do wrong when you talk, they think you're a bad person. They refuse to see that it is because of their wrong that you're talking to them. If you're an innocent person, I will have no reason to talk about you. For fun, what do I like? I like to watch movies if I can find time. I have to put the phone away, to get off the phone. As I'm on the phone, I'm getting calls, I'm getting messages, and all that kind of thing. So I like talking to people. I like engaging in a conversation. When I was growing up, much younger, I used to watch football games because that was the only thing all my friends used to do. So I picked Manchester United. That was my favorite team, and I I haven't watched a football game in a long time, like a whole game. But I'm told Man U is doing so badly these days that I am ashamed to say I'm a Man U fan.
And Jeremiah saying it one year again. Low on the screen.
Oh, Jerry know what I want. Jerry know what we used to do. Summertime. Jerry will tell you about my fried rice. My fried rice is famous, Philip. One day you come down here, or I come down to Indiana, you give me one big pot. We'll go shop. My make fried rice, my man. What? People eat two times. And my the grilled chicken, the grilled pork and stuff. So I learned cooking from my mother. But I perfected it when I went to live with my uncle Jeremiah Walker, because we always had these events. And I like food. So I always wanted to learn how to cook, And I like to entertain people. Jeremiah will tell you, they will come visit me, and Jeremiah's a nice guy. We'll have conversation. We will set up under 3-4 o'clock in the morning. We're just lecturing, we're eating, and just wonderful. I love people. I love people. Yeah.
So, Harold, before you leave, just throw a little light on your grandma Chukma. I heard that you built a boarding house in the village for her.
I wouldn't call it boarding, but the fact that it is the first. Yeah, so here's what I really did, right? So I wanted to build a concrete house, and I said, no, what do you do? We can make the dye bricks, and we use cement to raise the walls, and then we plaster it with. So when you see it, if you got to look, I mean, you could barely tell that it's a. So I was like, she said she wants me to build a house for her. She wants to build a house. She wants to have a house like that before she dies. So we built a house, put a bathroom in it, living room, dining room, and all that kind of stuff in it. And I said, well, you know what? I'll do this one now because this is what I can afford. And hopefully before you die, I will build another one for you. But even for that, she's grateful. Grateful. My grandmother is a wonderful, wonderful woman. She means a lot to me. She's very old. She's in her 80s. She's strong. And, my mother was very tough. My mother was very, very tough. My mother passed away in 2007, many, many years ago. And one of my biggest regrets, I mean, it's not something I control, I have power over. I wish my mother had lived to be able to see what I have become. I really wish that. I really, really wish that. And when I lived with my mother was such a generous woman. I used to get mad at her. She would give away our last, my brother, our very last. And we had this green barrel, the small plastic barrel in the beef barrel, the small one, behind the room door. And that's where we used to put the rice. We buy a little rice, we put it inside it. And people would come to her, oh, Sarah, we ain't got no food to the house today. She would call me, go inside the room and go measure 2 cups of rice. You take 100 out and then you bring it for soup count for the people. I would say, I always knew the level of the rest, where the rest were at. When the rest too low, I want to tell her, say the rest not plenty. Just pass me like that. You don't want to buy it. And my mother would give her last away. And I used to think, I said, wait now, but the woman yet be food left over in the house, right? And people come, people want to eat. And my mom, we want to eat. Well, tell me that all bowl. Tell me that. My mom would take and give it to please stranger. Then I would just come to the hall. I said, look at the woman. No more can feel that when I was doing it. But little did I know, Philip, that woman's compassionate, generous spirit would rub off of me, people. I became just like that woman. My man, I can give my last away to people. I can say, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? But it makes me feel good, Philip, when I can help somebody in a desperate situation. When somebody calls me, they ain't gotta know me from anywhere. When I got it, I will help. They ain't gotta be money, but your time, Philip.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone. If I need to make a call for somebody who is in a desperate situation, I will my time, whatever I'm doing, I should be able to take a few minutes away from that. Yes, it's my time for myself, but I feel like God put me in a position where if a phone call can help save somebody's life, if calling on Liberians from 5,000 miles away to say, I beg you, go to EOW Hospital and provide protection for Justina Taylor, and people came out, that is a gift that God has given me, and I want to share that gift with the world.
Thank you so much, Aaron. So I have this person been asking a question, I've been repeating this question. So if you can just address that question, it's Benjamin K. Kolako.
Yeah, well, how do I do multitasking? It's something I picked up because I'm constantly swamped. I always have a lot of things to do. I got tons of people trying to call me, tons of people messaging me. It's hard to keep up. I don't have anybody who is my personal assistant telling me. So I have so I learned naturally, as a matter of necessity, to multitask. So I'm on a show, I'm texting people, I'm coordinating. I got people, I'm messaging, I'm sharing information back and forth with people, and I can still do that and be able to flow, in a relatively coherent way. So the way you do it is that I don't have a particular strategy on how to do it, but you just begin to do it, and over time you will improve on how you do it. One of the things I do is that I try to organize my day. If I have certain things to do tomorrow, I will save them. I will set up a reminder. I will set up a reminder to do those things so that I make sure those things are done. I try to do that. So I tend to be very organized when it comes to that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Henry Pedro Costa. We really do appreciate you. So for those of you following us, remember you are on the Logan's Hour. This is our live broadcast in Indiana. We broadcast on Facebook and on YouTube. And tomorrow is Thank God is Fabulous by our two young and beautiful sisters. So just when we come back, Henry will give us his parting.
Doesn't matter what you're going through or what you have been through. Thank God is fabulous. I'm Welda Katie, and I'm Sophia Hilton. Welcome.
Thank God is fabulous. Friendship. What is a true friend? He's my friend. She's my friend. Can a male and a female be true friends? What are the benefits of friendship? Are there true friends who benefit or not? How do you know somebody is a friend? What are the criteria? What are the requirements to have a friend?
All right, thank God it's fabulous. So we want to say thank you to our sister Professor Pele and Pasia Hilton. Tomorrow they will be starting their show first tomorrow Friday, and they're going to be talking about issues university wise and how to enroll in university, how to deal with the nursing fee. Some of you who want to go in the field of nursing, Professor Pele as well will be here to talk about those issues. So Heron been here for a little while now, and we'll just go to Heron now. If there's anything you want to add, or if not, he can just give us his parting. But Heron, first of all, I want to say I'm grateful that you came. And something I always say on my show here, and you re-echo that again, that life is not about duration, or rather life is about donation. And I appreciate that again. Thank you, Heron. You can give us your parting.
Well, my brother, thank you very much. And just to piggyback off of what you said, one of my favorite quotes is by Winston Churchill. And Churchill was one of the greatest prime ministers one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century. He was prime minister of the United Kingdom during the Second World War. And Churchill said, you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. So the things you earn, you can make a living for yourself with it. But the things you give, you can make a life. Making a life is more than making a living.
Yep.
So, go out there and try to be a positive impact, a positive influence, and touch the world in a way that's going to last beyond your time. I'm 40 years old, and I believe that if I were to fall and die today, people would remember me for a long time. Some would say he was a troublemaker. Some would say he was a hero. Some would say he was a friend and he was a father. And so I'm just humbled for what God has enabled me to accomplish in my relatively short life thus far. A short time that I've been on this earth so far, and I hope to have many more years ahead of me. I look forward to coming down to Indiana. We got to plan this. I've been wanting to come for a long time. We need to set something up. Maybe when the weather improves, I can come down for 1 week.
Trust me, when I want to improve, we'll get to Elisha Harris and Jeremiah Chia, and we will be glad to have you here.
I got plenty of friends there. I look forward to seeing you guys. Philip, I want to say thank you very, very much. I had a wonderful time.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Thank you. So that was the voice of Mr. Heron Petro Costa. Today we told you it was just about his life story. So we wasn't discussing anything that has to do with politics. We want to say thank you all for being here, and we look forward to seeing you again. Don't forget, tomorrow is Thank God It's Friday, and Thank God It's Fabulous. So get ready to support your sisters. We want to say today, thank you for being on the Logan's Hour. We want to say we'll see you again, and bye-bye. Good night.
Doesn't matter what you're going through or what you have been through. Thank God it's fabulous. I'm Weldon Katie, and I'm Sophia Hilton. Welcome.
Thank God it's fabulous. Friendship. What is a true friend? He's my friend. She's my friend. Can a male and a female be true friends? What are the benefits of friendship? Are there true friends with benefits?